Okay, recording. So, guys, today we're going to go through what literally exactly the same as I learned, like word for word and in exact the same order from Sophia Moreno's Social Media Savvy Volume 2 day. There's quite a lot of information, so get writing, like that's how it literally was all day. I tried earlier to sort of highlight what I was going to tell you guys, but actually there's so much information that's valuable, I couldn't cut anything. Like, that's how good it was. I can't cut what I've written. So I'm thinking this might need a part 2, which isn't a bad thing, it means that we've got loads to learn. And it is a bit all over the place the way it was learned. So kind of just the way I've done it is I've titled something at the top. For example, say I'm going to speak about something about Instagram. I'll say Instagram first, and then you know what the next bit of writing is going to be about. And throughout this, I'm also going to say what tasks that we were advised to do, either whilst we were at the event or for a home task. That's obviously on your own back to do them, but they're very, very good to do, and also to bear in mind that they're not set by me, they're set by the people and like NMDs. And if you're new and you don't know that, it's like one of the first top position in our company. So it's set by the people that know what they're doing, it's tried and tested, and nothing compares to being there anyway. So this is like the best you're going to get from me. But I would urge you to try and get to these things, because what I'm going to be able to portray to you is not the atmosphere that I got, but we're still going to be able to learn. But it was completely valuable, and I can't express how much fun I had, and how inspired I was as well. There's nothing like that fire in your belly. I can't give you their stories, like, just not the same. But so I am probably going to speak as quick as I can. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and I'll have a look at the end. And if I'm speaking too quickly, this is being recorded, so you can watch it back when you have some more time and write where you missed out. So I'm just going to crack on and try and be as quick as I can, because there's lots of fun stuff. Okay. So the first task, and this is really useful, and she made us get up and try it and things like this. So it is to be able to say your business story in 1 minute, or your product story, both ideally. She said that sometimes her team have Zoom calls to practice and time each other. Why is this useful? Because if you speak to someone in Tesco really quickly, you haven't got a half-an-hour meeting to talk to them. You need to be able to spiel it off like really quickly, really inspirational, like, and for them to be like, yeah, like, I want a bit more of that. So it's a really interesting task because it sounds easy, but it's not necessarily. So maybe time yourself. It's just something to learn, like, and at the beginning you might feel like you don't have much of a story, but for example, your business could include what made you start, what did you want to change, like what do you foresee your future as, what are your goals. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, I've earned this and I've earned that. It doesn't mean that. It's just your story, whatever that is. And obviously same for product. So if you put task next to that, that's what I've done in my notes. Like, I've like highlighted green where I need to go back and do a task. Okay, so Instagram. These are just going to be stats, which are really interesting and just kind of hypes up your awareness about why it's good to use Instagram. Beware newbies watching this or watching this back. Facebook is our main platform and always will be, because we have our customer customer group on there, and it's easier to speak to people via Messenger on Facebook. So first of all, I mean, write these down for your future reference, but if you're new, please get the hang of Facebook first before trying to overload yourself with Instagram too. But yes, okay, so these are just stats. Instagram has over 400 million users. That's a lot. It's the most engaged platform after Facebook. 90% of users are younger than 35. So that says quite a lot about who you can target. There's 3.5 billion likes every single day. Instagram has doubled in 2 years with users and posts and things. There's 80 million posts shared daily. Posts with at least one hashtag get 12.5% more engagement. The max hashtags is 30. However, Sophia advised not to use more than 12 because you're sort of begging for it then, when really just slow growth over time with a few hashtags is better. So I'm cutting that down to 12. Photos get more engagement than videos. Stories are better for where you're doing your videos rather than your posts. And tagging a location grows your audience by 80% on that post. You can be cheeky and tag different places. So I live in High Wycombe, but I can often tag like London, Harrow, wherever you want basically. Sophia said sometimes she's at home and she'll tag Manchester if she wants to target that area, whatever, like no one's going to know. So the 4 simple steps to Instagram. It's your CV. So you've got to make it look nice. If you're going to go for a job interview that you really, really want the job, you won't turn up in trackies and your CV like scrumpled up with like spit on it. It's just not the way. So that your social media is your CV. This is sort of talking about Instagram now, but it also relates to Facebook because I think it's still your CV. You have to create a fan base, obvious, utilize your tools, and to post about lifestyle and fun, basically. Okay. So your CV. So you need to know who are you. Now that sounds really, really simple, but actually when they got us like writing this down and stuff, you can't think of that much, but you need to think of more. So I've done this task twice now to try and dig deeper. Everything, like what your favorite color is. So like draw a stick man in the middle of a page and like write everything that you are around it, like everything, even the smallest of things. Like I don't know where mine is because I'm looking at my different notes, but I just wrote anything about me, anything. Your bio on Instagram needs to show who you are because it's the first thing they're going to look at and decide whether they're going to follow you back. So make it look pretty. Some of this is really general, so I'm trying to like make sure I just say the proper bits. In your bio though, people want to see a story. Why are they going to follow you? So really look at your profile and think, would you follow you? Also for like a theme on your Instagram, it's really important instead of being quite scatty. If you have a look at Sophia, if you don't know her, it's Sophia Moreno 7 on Instagram. I'll write in the chat later for spelling and stuff. But you'll see that she has a theme. It's very bright, colourful, glittery, girly, and you see that throughout, no matter what. And it's nice to look at. Like, I don't need to look at it because I have the products, but I like looking at it. It's something that you need people to want to look at your social media. So decide on a theme. If you don't like pink, don't make your pictures pink. Make it however you are, like literally. Clothing brands, Sophia said to have a look at their layout on Instagram because you'll find a theme on theirs. If you're not into clothes, look at stuff that you're into, like companies. You'll see that they follow a theme, and it's really interesting to look at and to be able to portray on yours as well. So decide a theme and stick to it. Your followers, like on Instagram, need to be like appealed to look at your Instagram. Fan base and following also relates to Facebook in ways. So who is your target market? again, I wrote task next to this because I need to do this as well. And it sounds really simple. You're like, oh, everyone, you know, I want to sell to everyone. Okay, but who is going to want to look at your stuff? So for me, it's probably girls that love the gym, sort of want to grow their booty, like pink and like music and like, I don't know, yeah, stuff like that, glitter, like. And then all of you guys might have a completely different target market. For example, I can speak to mums, like if mums come up to me and ask me about the products, I will speak to them. But I can't go into a mum group on Facebook because that's weird. I'm not a mum yet. So you've got to think about who is actually your target market, who wants to look at your stuff, who are you trying to appeal to. So that's a task. So if you like highlight that. What would catch their eye? Think about this in the task. Fan base and following also I've written down for hashtags. Like when you're trying to build followers, it's okay to use like follow for follow as a hashtag, L for L, like for like, and then written like for like, because these people want the same thing as you and you can help each other because it is literally a number on your following, but it looks good and they're going to see your stuff. Instagram is posting about 1 to 3 times a day, no more than 3, because it's not like a spammy platform. It needs, well, same as Facebook, but I think Instagram is a bit more sensitive. They really like valuable content. They don't want to see shit, a bit even more than Facebook. Sorry if kids are listening. Not good at that yet. So it needs a content and value and story. If I'm going to put my gym picture on Instagram, you actually need to write a bit about you, if that makes sense. You need to be like, for example, I have celiac disease. So if I'm eating something gluten-free, I should probably write something a bit about that. If that makes sense. Try and offer people so much value when they're reading your stuff. They will first look at it because you have a pretty picture, but they'll follow you and continue to engage with your posts if they like you and if you're helping them in some way. And where you are now, you might not be where you think you want to be right now, but someone else could be 2 steps down and think, oh, like she's doing so well, I want to be where she is. So always think of that. The peak times on Instagram, this is interesting, and I don't know if it's the same for Facebook, are the best times to post between 7 and 9 a.m., between 12 and 2 p.m., and between 5 and 9 p.m., especially 8 p.m. The reason she told us this is because clothing brands give her clothes and they always tell her to post a post wearing their clothes at 8 p.m. So she said there's got to be a reason behind that. So that is very interesting. And that also tells you that the people looking at Instagram are 9-to-5ers because they look at it on their commute, on their lunch break, and when they're finished. So that's obviously a good market to target because we want to change their life. Stand out and be different. Obviously that is a general thing, but I think it's really important. Don't look at someone else and think, I want to be exactly like that. No, you want to be exactly like you, and someone can relate to that. I like this one very much for time management, and I'm a busy person, so I like this next one. Pre-save your hashtags into like categories in your notes on your phone. So I'm going to make on mine health category. So if I post a shake or if I post capsules, I'm going to have those saved. If I post fitness, etc., if I post fashion, obviously you'll need to add some hashtags for random things, but that saves you so much time copying and pasting. And also, if you don't know how to do this, let me know and I'll show you. On Instagram, you've got like your photo, then you've got like your caption, and then people have their hashtags. Sophia advised that you put like dots so that your hashtags, my hand's going to go now, and this is where the hashtags are going, down, so that people see your photo and the caption, and they're not really focusing on hashtags, but it's got their attention because that's how Instagram works. Some phones don't allow you to do it, but I can show you how I figured out. Also on Instagram, you can make draft posts. Facebook thinks you can do this, but you can't, because I did it one day and I couldn't find the draft. So don't ever do that on Facebook until they fix that. Draft post on Instagram, you go as if you're going to do the post, you write it, and then you press the back button and it will say save as draft, discard, or continue. If you actually press yes, it is going to save. And Sophia said that on busy days, she has like a bank of draft stuff that she can use if she is very busy. So that's useful because Facebook doesn't actually do that for us. On Instagrams, it's not that essential to post on Sundays. For some reason, there's a massive drop in interaction when you look at the stats. So still post on Sundays, but don't post your best post on a Sunday. It's almost wasted. Okay. Interesting things about Instagram. In your direct messages, you can only message 12 people that don't follow you. So as if you're trying to reach out before you get blocked. So that's really interesting, and that is why Facebook is the key platform here. All day it kept being repeated. You need to get people from your Instagram to your Facebook. So if you start to speak to someone, say, oh, do you have Facebook? Yeah, add me on there, hun. Da, da, da. And then they're on. That is like the conveyor belt, essentially. Because it's hard to speak to people on Instagram. Harder, sorry, not hard. 12 maximum hashtags. Again, you can go live on Instagram like Facebook already. And there's something new called Instagram TV, which means that you can, if you go live on your Instagram, it will also live to your Facebook at the same time. This is very interesting and it's very new. Sophia hasn't tried it yet, but if we can get used to it and we can play about with it and we can be maybe the first using it, it's very cool. And if one platform fails, then you're live on the other one. So pretty cool, and new features are it's always good to keep up with the times anyway. Times are always changing. So that's very cool. Again, don't know how to use it, neither does Sophia, so we'll all just play and we'll help each other. Instagram stories, the queen of all stories. Okay, they're so fun, they're so pretty. I love watching them and everyone else loves watching them. 5 stories per day maximum. Oh, sorry, take out maximum. 5 stories per day, like ideally, and then if you're busy, then just add to it. On your stories, you need to be taking people on a journey. I kind of already do this, so it just reinforced it at the event. This is more where you can do videos and like show people the behind the scenes of your life in a way. That's what I kind of like to show it. So I'll do like walking to the gym of like my feet or something, just like behind the scenes of your life. And it's very cool. You can add GIFs and questions. That's a newish thing on Instagram, where someone can ask you a question and yeah, you can answer. So that's really getting your people engaging with you. And polls, obviously, Sophia's team said that it works really well to do 1 poll challenge a week on Instagram and no more. It's a bit much, and then a bit much to keep up with as well. So I really like that. It's good to use unfollower apps. Some of them are a bit iffy, so I'm going to use my one, and if it's good, I'll let you know what it's called. I'm on Android though, so because you don't want to be following more than are following you. So it means you can do it quickly, say like 100 unfollow at a time, because no one's got time to unfollow 100 people manually. and you want to be following sort of every day, same as Facebook. But on Instagram, it's quite important to not be following more than are following you. I had to really think about that. And then Instagram highlights. Oh my god, I freaking love these. Okay, so these are on your profile. If you do look at Sophia's profile, you'll see them. I'm trying to build them. I might do it tonight. They're literally your story highlights, and they're really cute, like in little categories. And people can look at those whenever and always. They're not going to run out like stories. So it's really cute, and it really says a lot about you. Oh, kitty. And I really like those. If you want help like making them pretty, I did a lot of research into this, because I don't like just putting shit on my social media. I like to make it look so pretty, so that when I look at it, I think it's pretty. Okay, and I think this tip is so valuable, and it's kind of what we're doing on our 5:30 a.m. calls, and I really like that it was reinforced this weekend. Do admin stuff when people are asleep. Oh my god, I've never said something so valuable my whole life. Like, and that's why we're doing what we're doing on these morning calls. If you want to know more about it, obviously tell us in the group. Because it's not income producing. It keeps the flow of your business, but it's not actually bringing you money. So that's how business works anyway. You've got to do these things, and we all have to do these things, but it's best to do them when most people are asleep and we're hustling. And I think so worth it for what you can get from doing that consistently. Madness. Sorry, this is quite scatty, but this is how it was said to me, so sorry. Just going back to Instagram drafts. I don't know if you want to write next to it. Make sure you slightly edit your drafts before reposting. Instagram is like Facebook in a way it doesn't want to think you're a robot. So if you are saving drafts and then bashing them out, that is a bit robotic. So sort of just put an extra emoji, change a hashtag, something really simple to quickly bash it out, because that is the point. You want to be quick. But that is called the Instagram shadow ban. Scary. And also you can change your Instagram to a business rather than personal. I like this because I think it makes you look like a business, and Sophia said that she gets girls sending her via email like their actual CV because they want to join a company. And that's a really cool thing, I think, because you can portray your business as what you want, and people will believe it as what you portray it as. That's simple. So on Instagram, you can put your account as a business, and you can also create a contact button in the settings. Mine is as email, and then I have a Fearless Health and Wealth email, which is literally Fearless Health with Chloe. Obviously, if I put and wealth, it gets really long, so that's how I've put it for now. And then people can email you directly about the business, which I think is really cool and makes it look really professional. There's an option to put your number. Probably wouldn't, because Instagram is everywhere. Probably would put your email. And also, you know, when you can share your Instagram post to Facebook, you don't do that because it drops the algorithm. So that's a good tip. Don't be spammy. Don't post dark photos. Progress photos are not for Instagram posts. It's just not pretty unless it's your own. Your own is your story, people following you. Just to make that confusing, in your Instagram stories, it's okay to post your progress photos, but just not as a post. No writing on your photos. Just make it good quality photos on Instagram. I mean, same for Facebook, really, essentially. And it's much, much better to have your photos posted than to make it look like a Pinterest feed, because it's not Pinterest. They want to look at Instagram and they want to see people. So yeah, Now, if you are busy, like some of us are, and you don't have time to take pretty photos, or on your lunch break, nowhere to take a pretty photo, I get it. Sophia said that when she was working full time, and her full time was like a lot, like 70 plus hours a week, she would take one day and take her products, different changes of lipstick, to a pretty place and take shitloads of photos and have a content day. I really like this because there's days where you're somewhere pretty and you think, oh, like I could take so many photos here for future. Or you look extra nice one day, like use it and save them. No one's going to know that your hand in front of, I need to do my nails, sorry. Your hand in front of a pretty flower is one day or another. They're not going to know, but it's pretty. Have a content day if you're busy. This one is quite a challenge, but Sophia said that she does chase her Instagram likes, just like Facebook. Instagram has a lot of bots and a lot of automated likes, so it can be confusing. So I would personally chase likes on a post that's quite important, or quite direct. If they're quite clearly liking your shakes, try and find them. It's probably worth getting through the bots to actually find the people that want your shakes. Also a nice little tip, I especially think for new people, is that really sort of saying, we might often say, drop a stone challenge and stuff like this. Sophia was saying, well, actually, we can't essentially promise that you will drop a stone. So it's a bit on the compliance sort of scary side of things. So she said she always sort of says things like fit and fab challenge, or I can't think of like cute words right now, but you know what I mean. Feel pretty challenge or something. Get creative. Let's share our thoughts in the group. God, this is so hard because I haven't even been through. You don't even understand how much. Okay, let me try and pull out some stuff. Okay, I'm also going to tell you names of people who told me these things because something might relate to you and you might want to go look at their profile and stalk them. So the next few sort of tips were given. Oh my God. Okay, it's got 10 minutes. Okay. By a girl called Lizzie, but with 2 S's. Goble, Goble, who transformed her business in 90 days and quadrupled her business and pay line. She said the main things that she changed were to treat the business like a business. Sounds really simple, but if you want hobby money, then carry on treating it like a hobby. If you want a business and you want to change your bloody life, then it's got to be like a business, as in organized. And yeah, even if you're new, it's good to get used to checking your reports every day. If you don't know how to do that, please ask, because sooner, when you're trying to chase promotions, you need to know where you are and what you're doing. Track conversations. Events was a big thing at this event. Having a no bullshit attitude. Are you actually using the tools available to you, aka Office, the group that we have on Facebook, us as uplines. This is a task that is quite scary but quite nice, and really easy. You can do it in 2 seconds. This Lizzie made us work out how many weeks that we've been alive for. Scary. You do your age times 52. You can post it all in the chat later to scare each other. But she made us do it just to see how, time goes. Like, if you only had 2 years left, for example, and you saw yourself in 2 years, are you happy with where you are now and what you're doing? Is it okay that you leave the world in 2 years. I quite like this task because it really brings to like fucking light like shit. So I liked it. And her sort of saying was, get on your phone and take action, because this business isn't hard. It just requires action and a phone. Now, there is a 90-day grid. So, but I think I'll record one after this to explain that, because it's too long, but it's very essential. Your vibe is attracting your tribe. Now, we hear this all the time, but it's so true. Like, how do you show up to your business? What energy are you putting out on your Facebook every day? Everyone said it. This business is 80% mindset and 20% mechanics. If you believe you can't, you can't. That's it. Living in a state of gratitude is also essential, because you can't get anything back from the universe unless you are grateful for what you have. So most of these people do a gratitude journal in the mornings. Okay, so the most important thing is this grid, but I'm gonna show you this after. Next task is your perfect tribe. So what type of person do you want to work with? What are your interests? Like, find your perfect tribe through finding out who you are as well. Really essential, because otherwise you're just chasing everyone, and they might not be your tribe. Let's think. If you're ever feeling like you're stuck, not sort of moving, this is another task. We did a lot of tasks. Ask yourself, why did I start the products? Get that feeling of inspiration again. Like, my story is so special to me. When I wrote it down and actually had to tell the person next to me, it reignited something, because I was like, shit, I love them. They have made my hair grow, and she said I have nice hair. Duh, everything. So then write down, why did I start the business? At the beginning, what were your pains? Like, what made you start? What are the bad things that you want to change and probably still do, that make you keep going, that make you jump on this call? Okay. Let's think. We also had a lovely panel of different positions, starting from DD to like NMD, which was nice to get a full range of tips. So I've starred the ones that are sort of my favorite. Recruit early. Use your upline for this. It doesn't matter if you don't know what you're talking about. If you're excited about what you've just joined and what you see people doing, tell people. Say, yeah, there's opportunities to join. Let me get you speaking to my upline. It doesn't matter that you don't know what you're doing. Recruit early. A lot of people in the panel said that they regretted that. They wish they did start earlier. And build your business wide. So when you start to build and you get one girl, it's called a leg, by the way. Don't rely on one leg, because anyone can leave at any time. Keep building. It might seem really fun and, yeah, we're going to do this together, and they're so fab and you're so fab and you bounce off each other. Keep building anyway, because you need a wide set of legs. Right, okay, 3 minutes. I like this because these tips are from a mum of 3. 2 of the children stay at home, 1 goes to school. Like, she's NMD. There's just no excuses at all. Organized, be very organized. Use your children as your reason, not your excuse. Use the pockets of the day, even for just 5 minutes. So even, for example, when her kid was watching like Peppa Pig or something, spend 5 minutes doing your happy birthday messages, just something. Be present with when you're with them, so that it's not a crossover. Don't try and do both, basically. You're doing one, you're doing the other. Have a morning power hour. She said in the morning she does meditation, positive audios, and a power DMO morning to smash it out and then keep networking in like pockets of the day. And find your own system. Like, all these are tips, but something has to work for you. So change it slightly, use it for a week. Is it working? And stick with it when you find something. And now the tips from full-timers. Be productive and not busy. On our phones, we often think we're so busy. Don't get distracted. Scrolling for a certain amount of time, like 3 minutes, is interacting. Scrolling for longer is not being productive. Set alarms to control your tasks. So like that, to not get distracted. I have 2 minutes to send happy birthday messages, then I'm on the next one. Whatever it takes for you to stay focused, use it. A tick list. Believe in yourself. God, that is like the biggest thing ever. I swear we need like part 2 for this. Self-development. Now this one's really interesting, because she also said after self-development, she said, are you ready? Are you actually ready to be NMD or whatever you want to be, right? And obviously you're like, yeah, I do. She said, are you really? NMDs on average earn £85,000 a year and manage over 100 teamies. Are you ready? You've got to self-develop constantly in this business. You've got to be a leader already. The time is probably going to run out any second, so I'm really sorry. I wanted to be much quicker, and I have lots more to go through. So I'm going to record a video about the 90-day grid now, because everyone that has used it in Sophia's team has stepped it up. It's something that I definitely want to try because I like the sound of that. And I guess that's it, because it's going to cut off like any minute. So I'm going to make part 2, maybe tomorrow because I'm free, and then it means we keep this momentum